don't know what would happen. Or if the OG show weren't filming now and was set to film in January, would they latch on to James if they were filming now? Would the season be longer? If it was starting at January, would James just be fired? These are all my questions I have for you.
Well,
It's a lot of questions, right?
the biggest thing for me is I am truly surprised that it's taken this long for James to be arrested for something like this or to get in trouble in any sort of way, right? That isn't just like people not liking him for, fat shaming Katie or, slut shaming someone else or whatever, getting drunk and being mean. Because every time we've seen this, we then get a James like, well, I was bullied as a kid. Or, and then the next time it comes around, it's like, well, I drink too much and it's the drinking problem. And it's like, oh, but now I just have a girlfriend that like really helps me out. And it's like, dude, you are pathetic. You are a pathetic human being who will not take accountability. And so the fact is that there's, I mean, I don't know about you, but I've seen rumors about James being a terrible person for years. And I'm sorry, he shows us who he is on this show. And he had opportunity after opportunity to right himself, to to fix, when you're 22 and you're abusing substances and you come off like an asshole, and then people give you chance after chance after chance and you continue to fuck it up, like at some point it's not the alcohol's fault. It's not the like I was bullied in high school fault. At some point you have to look yourself hard in the mirror and say I need to make some real changes and take accountability. So if the show was still filming, I do not think James would be on there. I think they've covered his ass for so long that if they kept him on and tried to like make this part of a show, that they would start getting just as much, maybe not just as much heat, but they would be like Bravo, Evolution, all these places would be as accountable publicly as James is not being for himself. And I think that like they would just fire him on the spot and wash their hands of it like they did with Jackson, Kristen, and Brittany in 2019 or whatever. And the fact is that James is still not seemingly learning any sort of lessons. He finally put out an Instagram notes app
I saw.
chat GPT bullshit today where he still doesn't like apologize. Like I don't think apologizing is sorry, let me fix my camera.
No,
I
I'm
don't
like, I just read that as well, which will be a
yeah.
few days after when everyone hears
Yeah,
this.
but I don't even think that he's not in a place where an apology is even doing anything, right? Like he is not. He just needs to get quiet and do the work. And nothing's going to take back being abusive to any of his partners he's ever had. Nothing will take that away. But the only path forward for him is putting in the work and doing whatever he needs to do to like take accountability and move forward, not brush it under the rug or blame something else.
Do you think like everyone knew, including LVP? Because like that is what Rachel Levis's lawyers have said. They're like, well, I mean, they also have a lawsuit, but I mean,
Sure.
they specifically point to Evolution and Bravo and NBC of like, for years. Rachel, even on Bethany's podcast, alluded, which I don't really think is the case because I don't think the timing lines up, but she alluded to the fact that Kristen's on the Valley because as a consolation, please be quiet about
Mm.
James. I don't know if that timing actually lines up personally, but
Yeah, I'm not sure either. And there's going to be stuff that we're never going to know unless this becomes public record.
just so
I
curious.
think that a lot more people know or knew that James was dangerous than let on. Now, that being said, I if you work at a job where there's like an HR situation going on, I do not expect like the male person delivering my mail to quit this corporate gig because someone else is having an issue with HR. No, I don't expect Sheena to quit because she found out James was a complete terror. But I do raise an eyebrow and my antenna go up a little bit when I see all of these people like and friends of like posting on Instagram be like, James is killing it again at this DJ set. We came, we celebrated, he kicks fucking ass. And then now we see people blogging who are like, they should have said something. They should have come out. They should have done this. Like, yeah, in a perfect world, hindsight's 2020, but like no one is like taking the rumors from the past and questioning Ariana's best friend, like, didn't you know about this? Why did you sell? It's like it is complicated. And I look, hey, I'm not the person who can speak on all this, but to like succinctly answer your question, yeah, more people probably knew that he was a shithead, but they probably chose not to dig deeper because they didn't. I mean, I hate to say it, but I think they wanted to just keep their jobs. And I don't think I think they were trying to protect the show and not intentionally saying like it's okay for James to do this. So I'm
Right.
doing it. But like I think there's like a subconscious thing there and it sucks because it's just terrible that he acted that way, and he was abusive.
Yes, I agree with that. Not
Yeah.
wanting to cause harm to anyone. I just think, right, you want the gravy train to continue. I just wonder what Lisa knew because
Mm,
right before this, she said, the people that have changed the least is Tom Schwartz, just not in a bad way. And she said the people that have changed the most are James and Lala. Now, I think this is after the show. This is after, like, it was recap, but right before this, she said that. So to me, that seems like there's no incentive to say that for your show. Everyone's fired. It's
yeah.
like I think she really believed James was an alcoholic, had substance problems. Now look at him. He's with his sweet girl, DJing, opening for Paulie D. And Lala, came in the mistress, gold digger, whatever you want to call her. She's a mother. I really think she meant these two have changed the most, which to me, not like standing on a soapbox to defend Lisa, it just sounds authentic to me of like you really thought these two changed the most.
Well, I think that Lisa, get regardless of what people think about Lisa, I think in this scenario, she was very much hoping for the best, right?
Hmm.
Like I was always like putting myself in Lisa's, purple shoes, but like I was always stern with James. I fired James. I did not give him uh that many outs, even though she did. But like I think she really believed that she like tried to set him on the right path. And when she saw that he was like having all of these positive changes, it was like, well, I don't need to dig any deeper on this. And he's turned over a new leaf. He's not having the same problems I remember him having during filming. And that's unfortunate because like sometimes you do have to search for that stuff. Or you have to like listen when people are saying stuff. And just because, Raquel almost like brought your whole show down, that doesn't mean she was lying about anything.
And Kristen, I just wonder
And Kristen,
what's
yeah,
right. I
yeah.
mean, she said finally or whatever. I mean, we might know more by the time this comes out in a week or two. But I mean, Allie's going home to Ohio. It's the holidays, blah, blah. She's coming back to live with him. That's what I heard. I mean, she hasn't said really anything. She made a statement too. She never said James